So I ended up blowing my 50K Topstep combine today, and originally I was gonna make this post and post it, but I figured, you know what, I'm gonna just make a quick video just to document. It's okay. I'm, honestly, I'm not really upset by it. I um I didn't trade my playbook. I didn't stick to my plan. I actually started doing a different strategy. So the failure wasn't on my playbook. It was on testing something that I have no proven edge over, right? But as I write, this post, one thing that it really just got to me. I was talking to one of my trading buddies, and I was telling him how I'm thinking about just going on demo and proving to myself that I can actually make money, right? Instead of trying to prove myself by throwing $50 in. I'm just burning money at this point in time. So, like I wrote, in the post, right? I said throughout my trading career, it seems that I have had to take two steps back to go five forward. That's just the honest truth. At the very beginning, I didn't want to get any mentorship, and I wasted half a year, 6 months, just burning money and getting nowhere until I finally, I came to the conclusion I need help. So I got my first course by Swaggy C. And that finally gave me some structure, some understanding of, okay, this is what I have to do, right? That was me taking the three steps back to go five forward. Then the next phase of it, I always heard, I would listen and I would consume to so much trading podcast, and a lot of traders always mention that you should back test, and the importance of back testing. And at that point in time, I was with Roger Banks, and doing his strategy. So finally, again, just once I was in his program, I finally started putting or given, I would say, the importance to back testing, and I started back testing. And again, two steps back to go five forward. Freaking my edge increased, but still it seemed like I didn't really understand like when I was successful and when I was failing. I'm like, yo, this doesn't make sense, right? Like I was having a hard time, I would say, reading price action. Then last year, I finally joined after going through a couple different mentors, I joined up with Profit X. Now in Profit X, I was introduced to the theme of the playbook, right? Which I've heard again on these podcasts. I've heard other traders talk about how you should document your back test and collect data and have a statistical, edge, because your losses are going to be more they have a bigger effect in your mind than your winners. Like the pain of losing is a lot more, like it feels more intense than the actual feeling of winning. In Profit X, I once again, back testing, but then I learned how to collect edge, how to collect data to prove an edge, a winnable edge, right? But now, after failing the top step, and I was with Apex, and I passed some of their accounts. My accounts with Top Step, with Apex, I'm sorry. My accounts with Apex, I don't really count them because you have so much leverage in terms of how many contracts you can trade with Top Step. I mean, with Apex, I'm sorry, Apex, that it's easy to pass the accounts when when you get a setup that it has a high edge of winning, a high chance of winning, and you just over leverage the mess out of it. You can pass it in one trade. Just, I mean, if it goes against you, you're pretty much screwed. But I'm just being honest. Like some of those accounts, I passed them like that. And also, since they're so cheap, it really is. You're gambling your way to success. So that's why I don't really count that. because and also I wasn't able to get a payout. Even though I got funded with them, I didn't get a payout. So that's the other reason. Now with Topstep, it's way more disciplined. I'm limited to 5 contracts. That means every day that I show up for the market, I need to bring my best game. So again, it's not the playbook's fault. It's I stepped out of line. I decided to try a system because I started going into drawdown and I started getting kind of annoyed, and I'm like, you know what? Let me look into their system. I'm not trying to strategy hop. I still have my system, but let me just try theirs and see if there's something to it, right? Granted, should have back tested it. I shouldn't have been doing it on the Topstep. But at this point in time, the biggest thing that kind of got to me, and it's funny because the guy that I'm talking about, he was interviewed on Words of Wisdom. I forgot his name, but I was listening to his interview. He talked about how he took $800 to like 89K. He talked about how he was in a desperate situation, and the one thing that really stuck out was the fact that he talked about how not only did he backtest, he demoed, and he didn't throw money into the market until the demo proved that his concept was real, that it could generate income. And the one thing that right now I'm like, okay, the multiple step backs that I've had to take to be able to leap forward have only increased my edge as a trader over time and my ability. I'm confident. But now I'm realizing, and maybe, I'm praying that really this may be the final piece. I'm asking in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, may this be the final piece to the puzzle that I need. And that is, I need to go back and collect data for his strategy. And if not, stick to my own strategy. Like I said, I'm 50-50. I'm going to collect data. I'm going to see if I like it, if it's suitable for me. Other words, I'm going to just stick to mines, but I would just be doing demo. And I'm not going to put no specific time on it. I'm going to be focused on, can I take a 50K account, 3K into profit, 5 contracts max, And the rule of thumb is, if I get it, into profit, like $1,000 into profit, if I bring it back to 50K, I failed. And my goal would be, can I do that 3 times? The first time to prove that I can pass it, that I can get it into, 3K profit. The second attempt would be to show that I can get that payout, that 3K payout. And the third time is to prove that it's not a fluke, that I actually can do this. Like I said, all of this, it got me thinking, and man, I want this so badly. Like, I'm willing to put that extra work, and I don't have an issue with taking a step, taking 2-3 steps back, because I know that the next couple steps forward, man, those are gonna be that's gonna be it. I'm going to be able to put my 2 weeks at work. I'm going to be making enough money where I'm full time. Through the grace of God, I'm telling you, eventually this channel right here, is going to be a channel of me literally traveling the world, just trying different types of food. I'm a bit of a gym rat, so maybe, I'll go check out like every type of gym, talking about trading, everything. And, my vision, like, when I think about this, man, I just envision myself just like waking up and just like trading. And I'm like, literally, I could be trading from Thailand, or I wake up and I'm like Mexico City. Like, man, like I'm telling you, and it doesn't even have to be outside the US. I could also just wake up and I'm in freaking Houston one day, and then a week later, maybe I'm in, I don't know, Washington, D.C. But the point is, this is it, man. This next piece of the puzzle, this is it. I know in my heart something is telling me this is it. This is the final piece. That that demo is the final piece of the puzzle. If I combine everything together, back testing, collecting the data that was back tested, transferring that same style of how I back tested, plus the data, if I know that my edge is giving me a 70-80% win rate off of specific variables, right? And I have to be very flexible, yet at the same time specific with what I'm looking for. But bringing that into demo and being able to showcase that it was replicable 3 times, at that point, man, I'm telling you, your boy is gonna be on a whole nother level.